All right, this morning we're going to be looking at our Dewalt impact driver. If you are anything like me, gentlemen, I'm a sucker for good tools. I like to buy the best of the best anytime that I can. Sometimes I don't have the finances to be able to do so, but I save up for the right tools. And I believe that the right tools do the right job and they'll last. The problem is that anything that you buy is eventually going to have some problems. Even your Dewalt drills, impact drivers, tools that Dewalt makes. I like Dewalt tools, but even they are going to wear out from time to time. The problem that I've got with this is when I stand on my ladder and I insert my bits and try to start putting in several screws or whatever I've got going in, my screwdriver or my bit tends to fall out. After a bit of impact, it just gets to where it wobbles out. And so what has happened is the retainer ball and the anvil, one or the other, has probably got to the place where it's wore out. And so we're going to replace that. It's a very simple fix. Along with good tools, you can normally find good parts. If you buy cheap tools, normally they're disposable and you'll never find parts for them. Here I found a new set, a anvil assembly set. I purchased offline, and you can see there it's just simply a kit that's got new anvil, springs, retainer clips with it, and this is going to fix our problem. So let's get started. Just a few basic tools that you're going to need. I like a little pocket screwdriver to work with, a little pick, and I'm going to use a regular flat screwdriver as well, and a T10 Torx bit, whether it's just a multi-tool like this, you can get at Lowe's, Home Depot, or whether it's just a bit to go into another impact driver or tool. Now, I've already loosened these up, so it will not take but a second to get these out and show you what we got going on here. Go ahead and loosen these so that we can replace our anvil. Now, if your retainer clip or your retainer ball is the only thing that is the problem, then you will be able to just simply replace that spring, and that will take care of the whole 9 yards for you. But if your anvil is wore out as well, if you've got too much play in it, then you'll want to replace the whole thing. And since I've already ordered the whole kit, I'm going to replace the whole thing today for a couple different reasons. Let's go ahead and take the battery out of that. If you got new parts, you might as well replace the whole thing and do the whole job at one time. Get these loosened up here. Before I take this last one out, I'm going to show you how to take this head apart. It's got all of them except one that will hold them together. And I've got this sitting on a paper towel here just to keep everything nice and clean as well I can see everything. Now, I mentioned to you just a second ago about a pick. You can use a pick, you can use a small pocket-sized screwdriver. There's a, if you can see in here, you pull back your little sleeve here, and there's a flat spot on the end of your anvil. And if you'll just insert your screwdriver into that and twist it around, that retaining clip will pop right out. And then under that, you're going to have a flat washer, retaining washer. Under that, you're going to have a spring that just holds your sleeve in, and then your sleeve is just going to come straight off. Simply like that. That's simple enough, ain't it? All right. Inside of your sleeve, what you're going to find is a little ball bearing in here. This is a retaining bearing, and that's what actually goes into the recessed part of your bit. You can see where that bit is recessed right there, and that ball slides right inside there to keep it locked in. Now, there is a spring that is missing here. Yep, there it is. It's inside of the sleeve. And what has happened is, don't lose that ball bearing. What has happened is that spring has broken and has stayed up inside of that sleeve. Now, there's a part missing off this, which we'll see in just a second when we get our other kit ready to go. Let me go ahead and disassemble this, and we'll move forward for you just so you can get your tool fixed. Now, if you're one of those guys that got plenty of money and this is no big deal to you, send me all your broken tools. I'll fix them and put them into use in my shop. But this is for those guys that are the do-it-yourselfers and will take the time to fix those tools that they've invested in. Now we're gonna do our best to just be real gentle in popping this loose. I'm just barely inserting my screwdriver into the crack all the way around, twisting lightly, and that will pop that loose. And always, always, always try to be gentle when you take your tools apart, because there's always the chance of something popping out and you not knowing where it goes back at. This is not going to be the case. Everything's locked together in here. That's just your housing right there. The side of your housing comes off, and you can see you've got the interior works, your motor, brushes, and all that inside. This is what we're the main part of this head. This anvil is going to slide out that direction, so we've got to take it out. So we're going to twist this head just ever so slightly that way, and it unlocks. See how that just slides that way? That's all you got to do, and then this is going to wiggle right off. Now you've got some wires in here that go right around your workings here. So I'm just going to ease those up out of there just to give us some work room without puncturing my wire, just so I can work with those without those wires getting pulled on and causing me a short. There we go. You see, that all comes loose. And if you was to need to replace your lighting assembly on the end of your impact driver, this just simply unplugs just like that. Very simple to take out, and you could replace that part if you needed to. Now, we need to take this head off of here. So we're going to, once again, wiggle a little bit to get this loose. And it's going to pop loose. You're going to wiggle and just pull the head off of it. That's all you got to do right there. That just simply wiggles out. Now, as I push on this anvil, the whole back side of this assembly is going to pop out. And so, let's see, just that simple. Pull that on out. There's your head. And up in here's your anvil. That's all it is right there. Just a piece of steel, kind of T-shape there. Now, let's get out our new parts here. We've got a new anvil. We've got us a new spring for our sleeve there. Let's put this old one over here. I mentioned to you a second ago about that spring being broke, and we're going to see this new spring here, and I'll show you the difference in them. The new spring, got all these twisted together here. As you can see, this new spring has a little bit of a pigtail on the end of it. See that little curved piece right there? It's broke off on this one. So there's no curved piece right here. That's going to retain your lock-in bearing there. So let's put this thing back together. My granddaughter and my wife are in here watching me figure out how to put tools back together, because I know they're so interested in that. There's also a washer in here that it just stays up in there. I will assert it onto my on my head here as I get ready to put this back together. Now, you've got just a simple axle right here. Your impact works off of this, working back and forth here. I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to put that washer right on top of there. We're simply going to insert this right back into the housing and twist it around till it's back in there nice and tight where it was at before. That's got some good play on it, so we're good there. Now, this, you're going to have a little recess here for your screw sleeve right there. And so we will just kind of gently work this back into place. It's got a little bit of tension on it because it goes in there at an angle. It's not a hairy ordeal to put back in there. I do have this moved around though. Let's see. That's right there. This is going to go down at the bottom. So let's put our motor and head back together here. There we go. All back together. Everything lines up, and you can see how when that head goes, it's got to work around that screw hole right there. And then this screw hole goes right in between the two sleeves on that head. So make sure that this is lined back up good with your housing. Let's see, we're going to put our light back together. Hook it up here. That's just going to pop right back together. And this will come around here. And remember I said how it twisted to come off? It just twists right back into place. Make sure that your wire does not get pinched on anything. So we're going to work that right back down into that recess that we've got for our wires without pinching them, without skinning them or making a short in them. They want to spring off the side of my table. Good thing I see that out of the corner of my eye where it's going, or I'd be looking for that for the rest of the day. Luckily, I do have an extra one of those. Okay. There we go. Now, I've got my wire right back into the little space that it goes into. And it'll work right down in there. Get everything out of the way. Make sure nothing gets shorted out. Let me get that spring while we're sitting there thinking about it. Try to have you a workspace that's kind of cleaned off before you start this, because you'll have parts that you'll wonder, where did that go? And I am bad about that myself, just to tell you the truth. We pop this right back into place. Make sure it's a nice tight fit top and it's not out of sorts. All your little joints have gone back together good. It's kind of clicked into place good and strong. All right, let's go ahead and put us a screw or two in here to hold us in this place here. I've got a T10 screwdriver that is downstairs in the basement, and I was just too lazy to go down there to get it, so that's why I'm using this little, it was upstairs in my roll-around tool chest, so I figured I would just use this, and it would be good enough to get me where I needed to go. Those two screws right there will hold us into place right now so we don't come back apart. We're gonna put this anvil head back together again. See, we got good play in there. That's moving about good. We're going to take our new ball bearing, and we're going to, well, let me do this. Let me put the spring on first. This spring with a little pigtail on the end of it, like I was mentioning to you before. Make sure you can get a picture of that pigtail there. That pigtail goes to the top, or it goes on the lash, let me say that. It slides all the way up on your anvil, and that pigtail actually recesses down into the hole where your retaining ball is at. So right there. Now, see how it slides back and forth in that slot there? What that does is that keeps your bearing in place inside of this long sleeve. So we're going to take our bearing, we're going to put to the front of it. See how that keeps it locked in there? I hope that you can see that right there. See that bearing? That spring just keeps it pushed forward. When you slide that sleeve back, it pulls that bearing back, and that's what releases your bit. So at this point, all we've got to do is take our new sleeve here. Put that on there like so. You've got a new spring. Got nice tension on that. We've got our new retaining washer right here. So we will take that and place right on top of that spring and just put everything right down inside of that right down inside of that sleeve there. And we will take our retaining clip, and if you will take you a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, small one preferably, just to work it down in there, get that one end started. But you're going to be all thumbs like me when you're trying to make a video. Once again, let's try this. Get that right down in there. Push this one side down to where it goes right inside that groove. And then we could work it around. Well, come on now. This is probably the most aggravating part of this whole ordeal. One, I wear glasses, and my glasses is about wore out. I see more scratches than I do anything else. All right, now. There we go. It pops right down in there like that. Now, if we take our screw, our bit, place it right down in there, locked into place, and we're good to go. So you've got a nice tool, and not a problem now, and ready to be used once again. All right, appreciate you taking a look at our video here, and I hope that your tool lasts you for a long time from here on out. You have a great day, and we'll see you soon.